Welcome back to the Clueless podcast. I'm Colton.
Tyler.
And Amanda.
Today we're going to be talking about a few different subjects, just doing random things, but hope you guys enjoy. First thing on the agenda, I want to ask you guys what you would do if you won the lottery.
Being like serious with this, or
I mean, you have a lot of money. You don't have to be very serious about anything after that point.
so like hoes and shit.
Hoes and shit.
No, but like to be serious though, like fixing up a home would be probably my first pick.
Yeah, probably putting like save.
Fair enough. One I have is like breaking down, but yeah, for me, I'd probably get a new car. Like probably the first and only thing I'd do. After that, I just wouldn't know what to do with it. I'd be too nervous.
I mean, I'd want to share it with my family. I feel like
That's true.
especially my sister. I'd want to save it and use it for something good, I guess, and maybe donate some of it depending on how much it is.
That seems noble. Honest with you.
I think, yeah, that'd be what we'd do.
But imagine buying like 1,000 pounds of concrete and like putting it in someone's car.
What? Just because you could afford the lawsuit?
Just because you could afford it. Yes. Just because you can afford the lawsuit.
Yeah, it's just someone has an unlucky day the day that you win the lottery. It's like, as soon as you scratch off the ticket and you realize you won, the dude who's just next to you is like, yeah, it's like, oh, that's awesome. And you're just like, you. And he's like, what? And it's like, just you. It's like, what are you driving out there? It's like, oh, I'm in that pickup over there. And he's like, all right, I'll be right back.
He's like gonna think he's getting a new car or something.
And just Tyler shows up. He's like, I just bought this cement company. He's like, oh, that's sick. It's like, so why do you want me here? He's like, watch this. Beep, beep.
Pour it over his car, because then he can't even see it or get in it, you know?
I'm just so excited. It's like he's gonna share. So
I mean, that would be. I mean, you could get 1,000 ducks too. Like,
1,000 ducks?
Not live ducks, but like.
Oh, like the rubber duckies?
Yes,
What,
exactly.
Scream?
And just, or like fill a whole lake with just rubber ducks. Just because you can afford to do it.
I feel like it'd be better for
Oh.
a small pond, though. I mean, a lake is pretty. That's pretty big. I mean, I know you got a lot of money on your hands, but
Buy out the lake.
it's a lot of area.
What if it's
Buy
just,
the lake?
Buy a lake, make it public, and then just wait a week. Let people just get settled in there, and then you're just like, yeah, this is my lake. I'll do whatever I want with it, and just dump rubber ducks all over them.
at least buy a new one?
Buy
The 1.5 says.
a new lake.
Oh no, he's talking about a new vehicle. I mean, I wouldn't.
No.
Like,
I'd like to buy a new vehicle. Or do you say a new lake? I think he means new lake.
I mean, there is quite a. Isn't there a delay on this though?
I tried to make it as low as I could.
Would you buy him a new vehicle?
No,
If
she
I
said
won
she
the
would.
lottery, oh yes, I would totally buy him a new vehicle.
She's tired of riding in the
For
dream
sure.
girl. That's
Like,
why.
No, no,
Well-
no. Like the person that you put cement in their vehicle.
Oh,
that person.
that's what he's talking about.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I would probably buy them a new vehicle afterwards. I'd feel so bad. Like, I mean, even if what if they drive a crappy car already? Still, I'd feel so bad doing that to someone.
You gotta give it like an hour and then come in before someone else comes to pick up. It's like, by the way, it's like, here's the keys to your truck. Just pour it on him and drive away. So he's just sitting there like,
No, what you need to do is just drive up in their new truck, be like, "Hey, look my new car!" Just went and bought it while they were filling up your car with cement, and then give it to them.
oh.
Lord.
Oh.
What else could we do with it? Like over $1 million.
That's what I'm saying. You could
I mean, you
do
could do so much.
so long as the charges against you don't exceed how much you have. You can do whatever.
Wait a minute. I'm looking up how much it would cost to get you out of a murder.
That's entirely dependent on the judge. 'Cause
Yeah,
they
but if you win the lottery, no, you don't need to
Like, not saying I would
kill anyone.
murder anybody, but like, just if you had,
this is not a good look
Uh,
for someone who gets scratch offs every morning. What are you really looking forward to?
that's in a hush hush.
Yeah. You need to go to your dead spot on the microphone and say that. It's like, oh, I want you to. Oh,
What's chat saying?
said one extra bullet.
Extra bull.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Not sure which part he's at. Oh. But I mean, other than that, our next subject would be to do with the paranormal.
I once had a ghost ask me for a donut once.
What?
huh?
Yeah,
What's the
that.
story behind that?
Yeah.
So, I was like, what, 10, 13, maybe, something like that. I was in my living room, right?
Yeah.
And I was playing Roblox, Wii game. Well,
Wait, not Roblox. Is
not Boomblocks.
Boomblocks, yeah.
Sorry. I've been up all night, so. But oh, we had just had donuts that morning. I think it was a trick in my mind, but I say it's a ghost just for the hell of it.
Mhm.
And the screen goes black for an abnormal amount of time, right? And all I hear is, "Can I have a donut?" I get scared, run to the back, and it sounds like my dad, but my dad's in the like all the way on the other side of the house. And my house is what, 100, 200 feet across?
Yeah. It's longer than it is wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, as I was running in there, I just hear this like deep laughing coming from like what sounds like behind me as I'm running into my parents' room.
And you can confirm both of your parents were in there?
I can confirm both my parents were in there, both mom, my dad, and my grandmother was in her room in the back. All of them were in the back of the house.
Fuck that. Oh. Anything?
I mean, not really at home. Really, I really don't. Well, I mean, there was this one time when we first moved in town, like was 8, 9 years ago or so. You know, we had that big pool in the backyard, and my room was at like very end of the house, in the very back of the house. So I was separated from everybody else. When we first moved in there, it was already creepy enough just being on the opposite end of the house, separated from everybody else. And I swear I could hear stuff happening in that pool. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like growls and like splashes. Like, I swear I heard it. And even Elizabeth came in there, and it was creepy. Like, I would get creeped out to the point where I had to go sleep in like the spare bedroom on the other side of the house.
Elizabeth heard it too?
It was creepy.
Yeah.
And like, we never like wanted to really like look because it was always so scary. And the windows that were in the bedroom, like, they're big, huge, like bay windows.
Yeah, I get that.
So they're really big. And it was creepy.
Like at the house that we lived in before we moved here, like the way it was set up was kind of creepy because you had this upstairs living room and then a downstairs area that was kind of, it would be technically basement level, but the way that the house was set up is kind of offset. Whoops. But like the staircase that led from this upstairs living room to this downstairs area that was mine and Brandon's, my brother. But heading there was always just like creepy because you never felt right. Like the feeling that you're talking about, not being able to look out the windows because you're afraid something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you'd be sat there watching TV, and if you're home alone, it's just like you never wanted to turn around because it's like, if I turn around right now, it's like I'm going to see something.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one day that I was in the upstairs living room watching one of my things while Brandon was downstairs. I think he's either playing on the computer down there or he was playing Xbox. Well, and then I just heard the door slam. Okay, well, what was that? So I go down there to check, and as I was around the corner, Brandon's rounding the other corner to check it out too. So we're looking at each other, and at that moment, you're just like realizing, like, that wasn't you. What the fuck was that? Ay,
That's creepy.
that never felt right.
Well, I mean, it's like at work too. Like that creeps me out if I'm up there by myself at night. Like I'm telling you, if I have nothing to do, so I'm like just sitting there paying attention to the cameras. I'm telling you, I've seen some shadows on those cameras, and it wasn't people. Like out in the lobby, you know, it's been like 10:30 at night. Like just be sitting there, and it's so dead quiet. It's so silent.
Even up at work for me, I'll always like hear something from up front. Most of the time, it's just like the equipment that we have, like squeaky. Well, the fridge makes like a distinct knocking sound. Like it legitimately just sounds like. And we'll look around the corner. Like sometimes it even catches Garrett off guard too. But oh,
Like the ice machine?
not the ice machine. No, it's like it'd be in front of us because we'll be like in the back, and the ice machine would be behind us. But then all of a sudden we'll just hear. Or sometimes you'll hear like a whistling sound.
Mm.
Never noticed that.
It's only every
No,
once
it
in a
was
while.
like the other night you went to work. I think it was like Monday night, and I was still up, and I'm telling you, I heard something back door. But there's no windows like to look back there on the back patio, and so I wasn't about to open that door because if something was out there, like it would have scared the shit out of me.
Could be that chihuahua that you feed.
No, he couldn't climb up the stairs. I like it sounded like the chairs moved out there. And it scared me because it was already so late at night, so it wouldn't have been the neighbor.
I don't like that because those
But-
chairs are easy to bump into if you're just trying to move through.
And it really did freak me out because something had to have been there. It wasn't the wind, it wasn't windy. I mean, I could see out the front window. But yeah, it was creepy. I just turned all the lights off, got in bed, and went to sleep.
Garrett just said, "Yeah, no, it's creepy." Corroborated my story. You have to ask Brandon though, because like that house genuinely freaked us out.
And I used to go into Dallas not years ago, right?
Was it when you were doing carpentry and stuff?
No, way before that.
Way before that.
My dad and him, best friend, like grew up along, didn't see each other due to drama. Well, every time I would go to their house, right, and they were like really, their house looks expensive. They were rich,
Mhm.
right? But they had like this long, like driveway, right? No trees, no nothing. It was like just a field with like this pond, and I would every time I go over there, I'd always have to sleep up in this, like second story, like just a theater room, basically.
A game room. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a big screen like you'd go into like a regular movie theater,
Yeah.
right? But you'd look out their front door, right? And I just always felt like there were gonna be like zombies or some shit, just fucking like hordes of shit coming at me.
There's one time my older brother scared the crap. I think it was Cody scared the crap out of Brandon by telling him like, "No, don't look outside. There's dinosaurs out there." No, like as far as like those Conjuring movies, those like higher class like haunting stuff. Do you guys believe that those kind of things happened at all?
Only ever seen the first one.
You've only
No.
seen
Oh no, and then last one.
the devil made me do it.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's all staged. Actually, and I mean, even though like I don't really believe in that stuff, like I don't want to like, be at home by myself after I watch them. Like I need someone like I need you here at night. You
But
know?
that's like the effect of the movie. That's how they want you to feel.
Yeah.
Like the real life story behind most of their investigations, and forgive me if I'm wrong. They're so Ed was an artist, Ed Warren, and he would go up and sketch people's houses that Lorraine would say like, no, I feel a strong presence there. So he'd get his foot in the door by essentially saying like, yeah, no, I sketched this of your house. It's like, do you want it? And then it'd go on like, oh, well, by the way, it's like, this is my wife. She's a psychic. She says that she feels, some evil energy here. It's like, have you guys ever experienced anything? And the people who'd be like, well, yeah, no, something weird happens. That's how they get their foot in the door. So the first movie, they claimed that uh, the Warrens weren't as involved as the movie shows them to be, and their case file even says that they weren't there as long as they said they would. But I think specifically for the second movie, it shows Ed being there for several days, like almost a week, to the point where he's like playing guitar, be like a father figure for the girls that were there to calm them down, because their dad had left and just took quote all the music with him.
Is this the first movie?
Second movie.
Second. Okay, yeah, I didn't.
Well,
Second.
the thing is about the second movie, in that case file, they're only there for a day. And in the first movie, they said like, yeah, well, they're here for a little bit, but the movie has a happy ending. Forget the witch's name. That was the main bad guy, but said that she was actually never like cast out, and that they made it worse after they left. But I just wanted to know if you guys felt those have any truth to them at all.
I feel like most of it is just staged. Like, I mean, maybe, there may be like some parts that is like, okay, yeah, I could see that happen, in real life, possibly.
Like the first movie is based on the Amityville horror, which is a very popular like haunting. Like there's a movie made about it on its own, and there's several murders that went on there that the perpetrator claimed like, yeah, no, the haunting that happened here possessed me, and then I went through and killed my whole family. But yeah,
I mean, shit. Paranormal shit can happen. Like,
as to like what it is.
yeah, as to like how far it actually goes. Can't say whether or not it's true or not.
As like if I ever go into something, I want to see like, okay, well, you came to this conclusion about it. Like, how did you get there? How did you find out like if there was this knocking, who else was there? Like, where were they? Who's all the crew that you brought with you? Like, specifically for those paranormal shows and stuff. Like,
what was it? Paranormal Investigator and
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunter, yeah. Wasn't Ghost Hunters like they came out and said that it was staged and shit?
I heard that for Ghost Adventures, the guy who was the main dude, he always put on like this tough persona in front of the camera, but all the crew and everyone says like, oh, well, he's like the biggest wimp out of all of them. He's jumping at every little sound that happens.
Oh, another family story about ghosts. All my aunts and uncles, or uncle, and my mom, all remember. They called him the trench coat man, right? Every time they would go, it was like during the day or something, they'd see a shadow figure of this guy in a trench coat in the windows and shadow figures. So,
the thing is, like, because when was your mom, like, what time, do you know, like, what year that was?
what year she was born, or
Or, like, what year that they saw that? Because they would have all have to been in the same house, right?
she was born in 60 or 70, so just before, probably 80s, maybe
Early 80s?
early 80s, because my sister was born late 80s.
Because, I mean, you had, like, all those serial killers and stuff getting popular around the same time. Like, think about that. Because what if it was some dude, like, stalking them who's like, oh, I know there's a bunch of children in there. I could go, like, Anakin Skywalker on them and just... Because there's another story that I heard. It's no one that I know, but it's from internet. But they're talking about how the serial killer had the MO that he would cut the power to your house before he came in. What is this? I think it was a chick, and she was home alone, and I think they had just had like an accident, like someone got killed a few blocks away from her house. Well, she's locked up one night and her parents aren't home, and all of a sudden her power goes out. Well, I don't think they knew that the power went out at the other house, but she's just like, okay, well, like everything's already locked up, whatever, whatnot. And then I think she hears like someone clamp to the fence to her backyard over to the next one, and like a cop car pulls up in front of the house and drives by. Well, the next morning they go out because their parents get home and find out like, okay, well the power's not working at all, and they go out to the box and they find out that the power was cut. Well, the house that had the accident, same thing had happened, but the person was killed. It was like another one of those like serial killer close call thing. I don't know if they caught that guy. I think they did, but one of those creepy kind of stories. What if your parents or your mom and your uncles all saw that kind of shit?
Creepy.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, you have any family stories
Um,
about anything you've seen online?
Yeah, very sane. No, that's not an insult.
what do you mean?
Sane. In the right mind. They're not crazy.
I mean, yeah, some of them are crazy, but not like that.
Hmm.
Well, going on.
Well, Tyler,
Okay.
has Starlink reached out to you just yet?
No, they have not.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. And it's been since February
Like
of
tail end.
tail end of 2021. February. So I don't think they'll be out here anytime soon.
Like the estimate was for like 6 months to the end of the year. But I don't know.
We're in
I was hopeful the entire time that they'd get out maybe soon.
we are in the middle of
Middle of the year.
like 6,
I think so.
7. I don't know. I don't know the months.
I mean, the only recent news that I have about Starlink is the fact that by September they'll have global coverage with their satellite. And I saw the other day that some dude broke his satellite, or it got struck by lightning, and they sent him out a replacement.
Like where though?
I'm not sure. It's probably gonna be on the northern states.
Yeah, I heard. I've been looking on lately online, and they're on like the 30. Like they're on the top of the state, right?
And that's everyone who's receiving it right now. It's at the 30th parallel.
Not 30. It's like 35, 36, something like that.
We're at like 42, aren't we?
No,
What parallel are we? 30?
I think we're on 32
32.
point something. Depends on where we're at,
So if anything, is a matter.
but it should be great. As long as it's not like HughesNet, I think we'll be.
I've seen the speeds up to like 200 download, 20 upload. The next thing I want to talk about is Roswell incident. So I'm sure you've never heard of the Roswell, but
It's aliens.
yeah, here's the gist of it. In the 1930s, something crashed in a ranch somewhere here down south. I forget. I think it's Arizona, and essentially they call the police, and the police come through and they pick up the parts and stuff of whatever crashed there, and they get the military down, and the military comes with a press conference, and the press conference specifically says, yeah, a flying saucer just crashed in one of your farmers' fields over here in the thing. The next day the story gets corrected. Well, no, it wasn't it wasn't a flying saucer. It was something else we have to identify. Just we think it's like some sort of secret project. Well, like a few days later, they take the remnants of whatever crashed out there to a Air Force base in Dallas, and from there in Dallas, this guy's office, I think he's a general, he has a picture published with one of the people who was there recovering the stuff. The guy who initially released the press conference that said it was a flying saucer. They had that same guy come in just for the picture to hold up the weather balloon parts. Also wood, oil, things like that, a few microphones, and they say, well, it's part of this secret project we have to put, microphones up in the upper atmosphere so we could hear nuclear tests going on in Russia.
So it's just basically weather balloons.
Yeah, it's weather balloons with microphones on them. That's all it was.
There's no way that you're going to be able to hear Russia
From Arizona.
in with a weather balloon. I don't care how high this thing gets. You could have it in the...
I feel like they could have came up with better than that. I mean...
Well, that was the story that remained for a little while. Like, up until the 80s. So almost 40 or so years. Well, one of the people... I think it was the guy who took the photo and originally released the press conference. He said, no, like... The reason I said flying saucer is because when I went out there, there's metal that felt like a feather in my hand, but we could not bend it with a sledgehammer.
What if it was just a dinner plate?
It's just a dinner plate.
Yeah.
That's where the term flying saucer came from. Is essentially the saucer underneath a teacup. So there's an argument out there that says that, well, okay, maybe flying saucer doesn't mean aliens, but
it's like a frisbee or like a saucer under a teacup.
Yeah.
Or a plate.
But there's also apparently bodies and stuff that were reported. And he said, like, that wasn't one of us. Everybody that was, like, there was 3 bodies that people reported seeing, including the rancher, some of the press in the area. But the Air Force came out and said that we're testing the effects, parachute effects of people on rubber dolls.
So first they're going to say that it's weather balloons, and now they're going to say that someone was just parachuting.
No, not someone, like a dummy, like a rubber dummy.
Yeah, but like a rubber dummy needed a damn microphone, something we're using now to capture our voices.
Well, no, they're saying that both just so happen to be in the same area. So 4-foot tall rubber dummies.
4 foot?
Yeah.
That doesn't even, like...
There's 6-foot tall pilots. And
yeah.
The dummies that they had shown that were proven to exist are 6 foot tall.
Then why were they saying something about 4 feet dummies?
That's what everyone else saw. Everyone else saw was super tiny little human creatures. What they're saying, what they said they saw was specifically organic. But whenever they described it as like that stereotypical kind of alien look: big eyes, big head, slit for a mouth, holes for a nose.
Huh.
That part's questionable to me.
Damn little green men want to... aliens, right?
Yeah.
People say they're coming here and they're taking cows and people like probe them.
Yeah.
Right? How are they probing them? Are they like just sticking stuff up their butt? Or are they like...
I mean, aliens are still probing people nowadays.
Are
like,
they?
Their butthole science has to be off the charts. I'm just saying. I mean, we're going to be talking about fetishes here in a little bit, but I mean, if the aliens keep on saying, like, yeah, grab another one.
Maybe that is their fetish. You never know.
It's just like, do it again. It's like that one now.
Man, this cow looks, very good. Let's grab this cow, this human. Hey, I've never seen a human with that can't walk. Let's get that one.
Get the one out of the wheelchair. This one doesn't react whenever we probe him. Why is that? Does it have to do with his vehicle?
Oh my god. Well, what about this one that doesn't react when we see it? It sees us.
I mean, that one's the other blind guy. Just feeling around with a stick, just starts floating up. I feel bad for him. He gets laid down on the table. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Oh.
Who's shoving my stick up my ass?
He's like, get that out of there. But no, as far as like the Roswell incident, there's been a lot of like officials and stuff who've come out since then who said that like, yeah, no, that was not a weather balloon out there, because the weather balloons that they're using were like 100 feet across or so. The crash site was 15 to 20 feet.
They said it was how big?
The weather balloons that were used for that project were like 100 feet or so across,
100 feet.
and the object that touched down was like 10 to 15 feet.
So, I
They have a
mean,
lot of lost material.
yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Mhm. But conveniently, I think ever since then they've lost all the wreckage that was there, so they have nothing for it.
Never know. It could be in Area 51.
Yeah, I bet they still have it.
I mean, that's all I got on that.
See? That's it.
Just about. I mean, I just cover up or legit weather balloon or something else.
What do you think, Amanda?
I think it
Thinks is a cover up.
I mean, fair enough. If in order for it to be something else, I feel like they just, I don't know. It doesn't sound right, like true.
Because I mean, they released that day one story that says
Yeah.
a flying saucer touchdown at this ranch.
I mean, and if that's not the case,
It changed the
then
story.
why change the story? Yeah, like
But like, are aliens real, or
Oh,
that's the real question?
I don't
Because
know.
the government, like what, a couple months ago, came out and said they were real
and
He
see,
said that UFOs were real.
UFOs.
I mean, I feel like, well, I mean, do y'all remember? I cannot remember what it was called, but we watched it together. Cool, I'm pretty sure that the story about when the documentary when like was it first graders
they saw
they saw the UFO come down, and they had described in what looked to be like aliens they saw come out.
and then the same day,
You know?
someone from like several miles away saw the same kind of ship. I think he took a picture of it too.
These were kindergartners.
Yeah, when they all saw
Kindergartens
the
or
same
first
thing.
grade, something
First
like
grade?
that, yeah. But the documentary, it shows them like come back after what, like
20.
15, 20 years later, like because they saw it back in what 2000.
No, they saw it like 19.
Was it 1990 something? Or?
Yeah, 1990
Yeah, and then so
something.
they came back like, yeah, it was like 20 years later, and
Or,
talked about
like,
what had happened.
corroborated the same story. It showed their interview from back then to their interview from the recent documentary.
Damn.
I can't
That's-
remember what that documentary was called. I know we didn't. It wasn't too long ago that we watched it though.
Nah, it was a good documentary though.
Yeah.
It opens your eyes. It makes you want to put on a tinfoil hat.
But yeah, I feel like they're real. I mean, some of the
Saying-
evidence that we have, even though the government like, tries to cover up some of that, like
saying that children make you want to put on a tinfoil hat.
Yes,
yeah,
they
Okay.
are aliens. Those kids back then, they were replaced. They never came back from that ship. It was clones, alien
Just-
clones.
Let's just have this on record, Colton.
They have no buttholes.
Oh my god.
They think that's how we find out. So those children have you seen those children's? But they didn't show those children's buttholes on the interviews. We don't know if they're one of them.
I don't think they
Okay,
would.
enough with that.
Okay.
Enough of children buttholes. Yeah, I don't think we should. Let's not.
Those adults. But oh fuck.
My priest says otherwise is what they're saying in chat.
What?
Garrett in chat, he's like, my priest says otherwise.
Oh my
Getting
god.
ordained by the priest. It's like, oh, you didn't see an alien, have you? Oh. Do you think they're from South Africa?
Who are the kids?
Yeah.
Were they?
Or the adults?
They're
now?
from Africa. It was a
Oh,
school in
okay.
Africa. Do you think in
Yeah.
Africa, how do you think they wipe in Africa?
How do I think they wipe?
What's the national standard?
I don't think they do. It's Africa. What do y'all expect?
They were at a school in Africa. It looked like fairly modern school, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they. I mean, they get supplies. I feel like they have. They
What do
wipe
you
their
think-
butt probably with
There's
toilet
white,
paper.
there's white kids there.
Oh, I know that, but like, how? What do you think they use like bark? Not bark, as because
Well, no, like the thing is, if you
Well-
looked at this school,
They
that
use
we
toilet
saw-
paper.
I mean toilet paper is bark technically.
Okay, well, they use the same kind of toilet paper that we use. Paper. Like,
The thing is, if you looked at the school in the documentary, it would be hard to guess. Like sometimes they sounded like they're from New Zealand, like
you
their
s-
accent.
Are you saying like really South Africa or
Like South Africa is the one that like
'cause-
Northern Africa is more civilized. They don't
Oh.
have as much conflict and stuff there. South Africa is where it gets more like tribal, I guess.
not if you're like completely on the very tip of South Africa. Like the coastal cities are actually pretty. Now correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I remember there's some people in South Africa that are like actually civilized, like completely not tribal.
I know that one of the coastal cities is where you get some of those like Somalian pirates, because Somalia is over there on like I want to say like south,
It'll be the east side.
southeastern Africa.
Be like directly east,
Yeah,
because it's not Madagascar.
but like I don't know, these kids didn't seem to have any sort of reason to be like
Wiping their ass with like their hand.
yeah. Where do you think bidets are the most popular? I want to live there.
Europe.
Europe.
Go with Poland.
Go with Poland.
They got fucked by Germany once. So
All right.
what? I'm just stating World War II.
Oh. I think the next thing I want to bring up is a guy by the name of Ken McElroy.
Oh, but let's stay on this whole wiping.
The wiping thing?
Yeah, like, because some people wipe front to back, some back to front. Some people use a bidet.
Yeah.
yeah, but even if you use a bidet to dry your shit off down there,
Dry.
yeah, to dry the wetness off, after you use the bidet,
Oh, you're talking
yeah,
about wiping.
to dry
dry
it,
it.
to dry off the
Tapping
drip.
off the water.
You still need to wipe front to back. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say we'd all think you wipe front to back here.
Yeah, I think that's I think we can all agree front to back. I mean, we definitely don't do. There was a podcast.
Left
if
to
you
right.
don't, like, you probably got some infections going on, I mean,
Well-
at least, for guys, like, it's a little different. Like, I guess if y'all do it, y'all could just wipe it off. but for girls, it's
It gets all in there.
a
and
lot
you
more
get
prone to get an infection. So that's, if you don't wipe front to back, you're just, something's wrong.
I mean, at least we're not like that one person. There was a podcast. I show you the video, Colton, but I don't think I showed you where the guy making a joke about like taking the toilet paper and grabbing the poop out of his butt.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking
Did
about?
I not show you that video?
I don't remember that at all.
The guy was like I don't know what video it was called. Might be able to link it in the end. But this guy literally was talking about, I'm sure it was a joke, but he would take the toilet paper and wrap it and then just pull the poop out of his butt instead of letting it fall into the toilet bowl.
Oh.
Yeah.
He wouldn't pull it out. He would just kind of, I guess, hold
would-
it underneath there and wait for him to push it out.
Yeah,
That-
he
Why?
he apparently didn't like the splash that it splashed back up on his butt. Like, I guess if you hate the splash that much,
I guess
you
if
could.
Like, that's extra effort.
Well, my thing is, you must be having an explosion if you really think you're gonna splash that much. Lord.
This man's getting a handful, is what you're saying.
That's just, no. Like, that's what toilet's for. Like,
I think there's
I
another,
just,
like, that's another fetish that people have is called poop dildo.
What?
We'll get into that.
it's called what?
Poop dildo.
I don't know what that is.
Are you talking
Go
about
ahead.
those chocolate ones?
Go ahead.
We'll get into that.
Go ahead.
No, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it. I got to get your guys' opinion on another kind of mystery, I guess.
Well, is it still in the poop and
No.
wiping? Then why don't we just go ahead with the whatever you called it?
We'll let that set on your mind for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll let that set.
Let you gather your questions, and then we'll go into it.
So my only question is, what the f- is that?
No, you'll have more questions after.
Oh, Lord.
So, you're back in the 1950s, and there's this guy who's named Ken Rex McElroy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a drug dealer.
Well, like, let's say your kid comes back from school, and they say something along the lines of, well, yeah, so, like, this McElroy girl, like, kicked the shit out of me today. Like, and the teacher's not doing anything about it.
McElroy was a girl?
No, this is the daughter of McElroy.
Oh.
So, like, let's say something like that happens, and you get onto that girl, and the next thing you find is that some 6'5" dude is outside of your house with a shotgun all night, and it's Mr. Ken Rex McElroy. Like, what would you do about it?
First, you got to tell me who McElroy is.
It's a dude outside of your house with a shotgun just because he got onto his daughter for beating up your kid.
I see him have a shotgun, right?
Yep, he's sitting outside your house.
Go get my shotgun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This guy was terrorizing this town for like most of his life. He was born in this town, and at the age of 13, he got into some sort of accident that people believe, kind of set him off. So he genuinely believed that he couldn't have anything done to him legally. He's ran to the police several times, and he always boasted that he had a lawyer that the mob had, so this lawyer could get him out of anything. Well, this guy never sat in jail for more than like a day or so. And there's a shopkeeper where his McElroy's daughter came into the shop and stole something. So the shopkeeper found out, went to her, got it back, and got onto her. Ken finds out about this, and basically the same thing that I just told you happens to him. And his family's being threatened because Ken is sitting out of the side of his house with his shotgun, and he's like, just every few hours or so, I think, he's popping off around, doing whatever, whatnot. Well, the town is getting fed up with him because this is not the only time that he's done shit. Like, I think there's a time that a shotgun blasted a dude in the throat and he lived. But then again, he never got convicted for it because apparently this lawyer was that good. Well, they convene in a town hall a few blocks away from McElroy's favorite bar, and he's sitting outside in his truck with his wife. Well, the town hall's there, the governor's there, the sheriff is there, and a whole bunch of like 60 or so people in total are there. And they're only talking about one thing. It's like, what the fuck do we do about Ken McElroy? But essentially, after the town hall convenes, a large group of people go out to where he's sitting, and McElroy is shot, I think, 3 times. 2 of the bullets are fatal. And the sheriff, or one of the policemen in town, is trying to search for a conviction. Of all the people who are surrounding the car, nobody saw anything except for his wife.
So are you saying that this lawyer was O.J. Simpson's lawyer?
Possibly.
Possibly.
So is this like a true story, or are you just?
No, you can look it up. Ken Rex McElroy.
Oh.
So the thing is, this guy is known for being violent, terrorizing the town, and every time that they tried to prosecute him, nothing would happen. And they felt like nothing else is going to happen. Well, after this town hall meeting, he gets shot after everyone leaves that meeting, while several people are around, and apparently no one saw anything. There was his wife pinpointed one guy and said, he's the one who shot my husband.
And there were 3 gunshots.
Hmm.
So this one guy shot 3 times.
Yeah. Like, from all witness accounts of it, they all heard 3 gunshots. Not at the same time, but like bang, bang, bang.
Okay, so like, and this you said this was like 1980.
I want to say this is earlier than that. I think it's the 50s, and around the 80s is when it's either the 50s or 70s, because the police officer was interviewed and said, like, I'm legitimately trying to find whoever did it, but like with this town, it just seemed like no one liked him.
Was there ever a conspiracy that like was his wife?
Well, that's not entirely a conspiracy. The question at hand is, regardless, the people in that town shot him.
Okay.
And it's almost fairly obvious that because he was a shitty person, that's why they shot him. But do you think they're justified in shooting that guy, taking that guy's life?
Technically, yes, but only because they couldn't do anything due with the lawyer. Yes.
Like,
Yes, Your Honor. Do believe it was justified to shoot the man.
I think, yeah, because I mean, the law is such a fairly recent thing. I mean, we've had morals since the beginning of time. There's like this giant pillar in the middle of some town from like 2,000 years ago where they had that whole declaration of like an eye for an eye, limb for a limb, that whole equity for being wronged. So we had a sense of justice.
I know who you're talking about, but the only thing that can come to mind is Confucius.
Yeah. But like the whole gist of it is modern law can only go so far as to stopping somebody, because for the people who treat it like a game and learn to play it like a game, they'll win. But taking the law into your own hands, was it the? I think it was, because the law can only go so far.
Yeah, there are times when like you have to take the law into your hands. I don't recommend it as a first resort. Just want to put that out there. However, if there's nothing else you can do, just make sure you have your facts straight.
Yeah, because I know that you could be prosecuted if you shoot somebody and they find it was obvious that you just wanted to shoot somebody that day, regardless of if you were technically protecting someone. Because there's a guy who was shoved to the ground and he shot the dude who shoved him to the ground, but he was prosecuted because the guy that shoved him to the ground was already backing off and running away when he shot.
You know, in Texas, you can legally shoot somebody in your house as long as there are no shots in the like as they're walking away, and you don't technically have to call 911. All you have to do is give them a proper burial.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
But like, especially for back then, like 50s era, like small towns, they're gonna take it into their own hands. You're already an asshole in that town. He was known for, he married a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, and that was his wife at the time.
Are you saying the Ken?
Yep.
Ken McAssface, whatever the hell. He married a 13 to 14-year-old,
and he was known to be abusive with them, basically children.
So wait, but like he didn't legally marry them, did he?
He did.
Back then you had to have the consent of the parents. Because my grandmother married when she was 16, 17, and she had to have consent of her parents to be able to marry, which, yeah.
I don't know how he worked it out with these.
Here, I'll make sure they never get in trouble.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna sex traffic them a lot, but they'll never get in trouble with the law. That's how you get it in his position.
The way, all I know is that he was known to be abusive, but after he died, both of his wives were like, oh, no, you guys just didn't know him. He was a nice guy. Shotgun to the neck.
Stockholm Syndrome,
Yeah.
more than likely.
Do you think that justified in shooting?
Amanda.
I feel like yes. That is the type of person he was.
But like, if you didn't know the guy at all, would you have still said yes?
Well, if I knew the background, like a story, then maybe.
Essentially, he was known to be abusive. He put a shotgun to somebody's neck and shot them in the neck. They survived. Prosecuted him. He never got in trouble for it.
I mean, he never. So, I mean, if not kill him, at least lock him up for the.
But the lawyer wouldn't allow that.
Which apparently the lawyer that he had was like a lawyer for famous mobsters at the same time. So they felt like nothing they did allowed them.
I guess the only option is to lock him up. But yeah, if you can't lock him up, then I guess the option is.
Take him out.
Oh yeah.
No, I wanted to get your guys' opinion on that one. But what are the weirdest fetishes that you guys know about?
Corners.
Corners.
Apparently, there are some people that are into corners.
Or into what?
Corners. Like, there's a corner behind you. Apparently, they're sexually aroused by it. I'm sure that's a very small percentage of people, but
That's weird.
that's probably the
So
weirdest.
they're like into walls.
Pretty much. They're
Basically.
into basically two walls fucking at that point. No.
Hmm.
I mean, I wonder if like specifically they want, like, let's say they're doing the do, they want to be bent over the corner. Like if any place they want to be on the corner of the bed or the corner of a desk.
Oh, I thought you meant like a wall, like a corner of a wall.
Like they're just in there rubbing their crap on the corner.
No, like you said they wanted to be bent over a corner, but like in the corner of the room.
I mean that too. If like they just look at the corner and be like, all right, I know you're feeling frisky, but like let's clear out the corner. Let's get the coffee table out of there real fast. I want to be there.
Maybe
Oh,
they,
so like like a couple is doing that.
Yeah.
Like
probably.
I mean, yeah, like well, I mean, I guess if you're like on a bed or
That's
I guess on a table. I mean, I don't know though.
To be honest, that's me being hopeful. That's what it is. Other than the person being like, yeah, it's a nice corner. They take like one of those 90-degree things and they're like, yeah, that's perfect.
Oh my lord.
I mean, there's also the people that are into feet.
I mean,
Okay, yeah, that's just gross.
it can be gross.
I can understand that more than corners.
Yeah, I can understand feet more than like masochism and sadism. Is it sadism?
I think sadism is like part in the same of like masochism. I think.
One of them you like to be abused, and the other you like to abuse. So,
I don't know, feet are gross.
would either of y'all do BDSM?
What's that?
Which one, like being tied up and stuff?
Yeah.
To try it.
What is BDSM?
Amanda, you should tie him up.
Wait, what is that?
Where
What does it stand for?
I think the technical term is bondage. It's the red ball gag stuff, isn't it? Mostly.
Pretty much.
Not that. I would not
I
do that.
mean,
Or what about just being tied, like hands behind your back, and like tied up where you're basically like a human piñata.
okay, yeah, I don't think a piñata would be the correct term. I don't know if anybody would like being tied up like a piñata. Like and just be hanging there. No.
As far as I know about BDSM, there's like a lot of different things to it, like Hellraiser kind of shit.
What does that stand for?
Yeah.
BDSM, just
Yeah.
bondage, I think.
I
I don't know the terms.
look it up, but well, no needles. No needles or fire.
Ew.
I don't want to be stabbed.
I'm sure there's some people that are.
Getting shanked does not turn me on.
That's, I don't know if masochism is the other, but
Garrett says, I am pinata.
shit. I'll be a piñata for the right girl. Fuck.
He goes,
So
"I
now,
love-"
what about like role play?
He says, I loved being pinata.
No,
Role
what
play?
about like role play?
As like a fetish.
But like, what kind of role play? Like
I would-
1950s, like
That's where I'm at.
like 1950s detective role play, or like 1950s,
I think there's
Your-
fingerprints on the inside of your panties. It's like,
or like the serial killer.
No, I'm
one.
talking like role play. Like, okay, like I don't know, like
Oh, like I'm a sexy elf.
let's let you
Or
be
some
the
shit.
doctor and I'll be the patient.
That's actually considered medical malpractice.
No, not like not like that, not like that.
Prosecuted in roleplay.
Oh my gosh.
You include the third person as like, this is not allowed. It's like, I am trying you.
Not like that.
This, it's like you got the chick trying to be all sexy and stuff, and it's just you're just sitting there. It's just like, this is not allowed. Like, this is illegal.
Like, I would lose my medical license.
You should be fired for this. Come back the next day with like a restraining order.
Oh my god.
Have to go through the whole role play process of switching your primary care doctor. It's just the same thing happens.
But like, it's a restraining order. Do you mean like BDSM restraining order, or
I don't know. It depends on how far they have to take the role play. At which point, which part does the do start happening? Is it the prison?
is I mean, there's also things like vor.
That's the one where they eat.
Yeah, they eat people
alive.
Ew.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean,
Some
that's kind of up there. I'll tell you about poop dildo.
Okay.
Do you know the feeling whenever you hold in crap for long enough to where you really have to go, but you just have to really hold it?
Okay.
There are people who like that sensation.
Ugh.
Where did you hear those from?
From green text on 4chan.
From Brandon.
On what?
From Brandon.
Probably.
No.
Or no. Probably from John.
No, it's a green text on 4chan. There's a YouTube series talking about the weirdest stories that are out there, and it's called Anon Learns About Poop Dildo.
You actually heard this. Get up on it.
Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, let's just say we need to have a talk if you those kind
Oh no, we're good.
of.
But yeah, essentially they'll hold it in, and apparently some people are good enough to let it slip and then pull it back in.
How do you pull it back
Is that
in?
so? Is that one of your fetishes?
We've
Probably
you
already
look-
talked about this. No,
Do you like doing that?
no. I took a shit as soon as I had to go just a second ago. I'm good. Oh,
Hmm.
I mean, talking about that, it had to be up there with worst fears of witnessing a poop dildo in action.
Witnessing a poop dildo? How do you witness a poop dildo?
You get with somebody and you don't know that that's their fetish. It's like, you want to know what I like? Phew, this.
And it just goes in and out like a fucking
No.
turtle.
Yeah. But on to
Turtle. It's like a fucking Pokemon.
On to something else.
yeah. What are your worst fears?
Heights.
Heights.
Heights probably.
I don't like heights, and I don't like going really fast. So like basically like roller coasters, you know, that's like scares me, and like really just like car wrecks too. I mean, like, of course, like that
You
scares
don't like
me.
going fast. Why do you go 20 over the speed limit?
I do not go 20 over the speed limit. Have I ever been pulled over in my entire life? No. Have you? Yes. And I can remember.
What?
I got pulled over for the tags
Yep.
on my car. Not
And you
speeding.
didn't use your blinker.
Yes, I did.
Nope.
My taillight was out.
This is what the officer said. He said that your tags were out for one, and then you didn't get into the turning lane
I'm
Like,
gonna say is that she's very
close
lucky
enough?
that she didn't
Or
get
like
pulled
ahead
over
enough?
for speeding.
What did you say?
Across 34.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
It's for the stream. You could listen to it at
And did you say
youtube.com/.
34? What's 34?
D3XT.
Rule 34?
Rule 34.
Is that what you're asking? Wait, do you know what Rule 34 is? I've had to explain this to somebody at my work.
Seriously, what are you talking?
Rule 34?
She wouldn't know. She's a woman.
Well, there's an easy way to find out. What's your favorite, like...
The real question is, what's your fetish? At that point, if Go look up Rule 34 and then your fetish. You will find everything you want.
Type in your favorite subject and then put Rule 34 after it.
Is that an actual thing?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Do it.
Oh, why not just tell me?
So you know, like
So you
Sonic
could
the
find
Hedgehog?
out. Yeah, look up Sonic the Hedgehog, Rule 34.
Preferably in your incognito mode. So it just doesn't pull up when someone
Yeah.
looks. What do you think she'll find first?
I think she already found it. She's just quiet.
I have a real question. Okay.
So you know what Rule 34 means now. Kind of.
If you can, if it exists, there is porn of it. That is what Rule 34 is.
What did you look up? Did you look up makeup Rule 34?
Just Rule
Oh,
30.
you just looked up Rule 34.
Okay.
I thought she just looked up like one of her beauty YouTubers with Rule 34. I was like,
The fuck? I ain't
So-
gonna look up something I don't know. I'm gonna look up what it is first.
So is cream pie like a fetish?
yeah,
It's a fetish.
I mean, it's definitely a search term.
Huh?
Definitely a search term.
Cream pie.
No.
Okay. Fine.
No, I know what it means.
Funny thing is,
I
like,
mean, what would you consider that?
explain
a fetish,
it,
though?
Colton.
No, she says she knows what it means.
Would
Explain
you consider
it.
that
No.
No, I'm good. You can look it up if you don't know. Would you consider that a fetish, though?
Would you?
It's like it is a specific term.
It is. So is anal.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a fetish too.
Yeah, I guess you would
Is anal a
consider it
fetish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fetish.
It's something you'd.
So
mean,
is
a corner
regular
a fetish.
is regular sex a fetish?
Yeah, because I mean, like, there's so
Really?
many different ways.
Yes.
Because whichever way that you start doing it, that is your preferred way of doing it.
Did you
probably.
say something about corn?
Corn? No, the corner. I said
Oh.
like a corner is just it's.
I'm
where
sure there's someone who's sexually frustrated by corn.
actually frustrated by corn.
Probably.
You mean like they get pissed off?
I don't know. Like, man, I really want this inside me.
The farmer who's like, I can't believe it's winter.
Man, I can't get off to my fields no more.
I can't wait for spring to roll around.
Well, if you have someone doing it to a cucumber, I wouldn't be surprised if someone's tried it with corn.
Oh fuck! I just realized I got
Jesus.
like 2 cucumbers from my buddy at work the other day.
You gotta be careful about that.
He gave them to me and he was like, "Hey, you should eat this." So I did.
That's more suspicious.
Yeah.
Have you had yourself checked out ever since?
No, I have not.
No,
I have yet to have myself checked in the first place.
you should do that.
Did you peel the
Probably.
skin off them first?
No,
No.
You
You pull the skin off?
you lick the skin to clean it and then eat it in front of
No.
another.
You know
man.
why I said that, right?
No.
Do you get it?
The skin off of the cucumber?
Yeah, I asked him. I mean, he said his buddy at work. You know, you don't know
Oh
what
my
he did.
god.
You don't know what he did with the cucumber.
Is he taken?
Okay. No, surprisingly not.
No?
He's like 26.
Do you know what what he prefers?
Pixie cuts.
Pixie cuts?
And that's very specific,
That's
actually.
very-
So if he
it's
watches
leaning more
this,
towards the side of the cucumbers used for something bad.
if he looks this up, he'll know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know who it is.
Did you smell it before eating it?
I did not, but they're
How did you eat it?
like a banana. You know, like you take it and you eat it from the middle.
That's not how you eat a banana.
No, I know. Don't worry.
Oh, that's gotta be a fetish too. Eating butt cucumbers.
If you can think of it, sure, I'm sure it's a fetish.
Cucumber Rule 34.
I could. No, but there's a guy at my work that has poured ketchup on my truck and licked it off.
Ew.
He's into licking things.
Oh
sure.
God.
Like there's
Why?
if you're gonna
Is
lick
this the same guy?
no, it's
No.
a different guy.
You're gonna lick ketchup off something and
You
pour it on a napkin, a clean napkin, or food, a
We
corn
have-
dog. Come on.
We've got something to look up.
what?
It's called axialism. Yeah.
And who told you to look that up?
1-5 in the chat. Our G boy, G money, G spot. You might want to do that in an incognito tab.
Axialism.
AXILLISM.
Yes, I know how to pronounce. Or I know how to spell it. I've looked it up once or twice before.
Really?
No.
So you should be.
No. I have looked up other stuff before though. And,
So what's axialism?
the use of the armpit for sex.
Ooh.
How the fuck? Do you
I
do
mean,
that?
I've heard of people being into armpits.
How the fuck? It's an armpit.
It's an armpit, exactly. That's exactly what it is for those people.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it'd be easy.
What the?
It probably would, cause you know how you like send pictures to like your buddy, like, and you like have your arms together and you take a picture.
Like a vagina.
It looks like a vagina or an ass or
Yeah.
just something.
People could be into that
People could be into that.
because they're like, yeah, it's like you don't have to put anything in your mouth. You don't have to do anything. Just close your eyes, stick your arm to your side as hard as you can, and make sure you're wearing gel deodorant, and I'll be fine.
I guess some people like it dirty.
They just like it dirty.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they just it's all there, all natural.
I think it's pretty much the same thing if like you press boobs together.
Probably.
I think it's the same, but it's an armpit.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
What?
We got another one.
I think the other this is more natural than the armpit.
Oh my god, I gotta look this shit up too. How the fuck do you spell this?
FORMICOPHILIA.
Oh, Philia? Oh fuck. Ah. Oh no.
What is
It's-
that one?
No. It's the sexual interest in and pleasure derived from small animals, insects, or snails crawling over one's body.
No, that's not that.
Oh.
No.
For a second, I thought it was gonna be like fucking them. Like, how do you fuck a cricket? But
Very carefully.
the cricket's not going home after that. But
That's not right.
Oh, I got one for you to read, actually.
It's actually
Dan?
illegal too.
No, actually, they took that down off of.
they took it down.
Yeah, they finally took out Metal Dan off of Urban Dictionary.
So is Garrett suggesting this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, may I ask Garrett, how in the world do you know about this stuff? Are you just looking it up on the internet as we go, or is that like something you're into, or
There's one for you to read.
Okay.
like I feel like he just has a whole list that he's just going down and he's like, okay,
I
we'll tell him to look up this one.
Everyone has those ones that, like, they remember, but they don't know the name for it. Like they know, like, oh, I knew someone who's interested in like,
Armpits.
yeah, being interested in armpits, or like, or someone who's like, yeah, I want something to be crawling all over me. That gets me. It's
No.
like,
It does get you?
no, I'm
Okay,
just
cool.
being
God, fuck no.
that person.
You think I'd be almost married to him? No.
Eey.
Ooh,
So
I'm good. I'm glad you don't have any fetish.
So there's one called macrophilia, and it appears to be an increasingly popular sex paraphilia in which individuals derive sexual arousal from a fascination with giants and or sexual fantasy involving giants. Such fantasies may include the macrophiles themselves shrinking in front of a normal-sized person, male or female. Some people want to be like manhandled like that. I could see it.
See it as well.
I think we should move on to a different.
Well, what's the other topic?
Well, we're supposed to be talking about worst fears.
Worst fears?
Yeah.
Oh, airplanes and fucking what are they called? Elevators? Fuck
You don't
those
like
things.
elevators?
I don't like elevators.
You're afraid you're gonna get stuck in one?
Yes.
Here it says, replying to you, Amanda, he says, yes, I love all of it. He says, no, I do this for fun. But he gave us one more to look up.
Oh my god.
It's called climacophilia.
I assume this is like a sexual arousal of heights,
Climacophilia?
or the
Or is it like?
I think it has to do with climate.
That's what I was saying, like temperature, like.
or
like,
or it could be
something like that.
a fetish for climax. I don't fucking know.
Maybe. There's a few different things.
Macophilia. Oh god.
Oh, God.
No, not meme. Fucking meaning, not me.
What is this? You want me to read it?
Yeah, I'll have you read this. I don't know if you can keep.
Imagine if my mom comes across this video.
Oh my god.
Terrible. This is terrible. The perfect one. Climacophilia is sexual arousal from watching someone fall down a flight of stairs or falling downstairs yourself.
I mean, I'd get pretty
My
aroused seeing
question is,
someone
where
fall
do people
downstairs.
come up with this crap? Like, has anybody actually ever
I
done
don't
that?
think they come up with it. I want to say there's some dude out there who just saw like like a chick fall down the stairs and he's like, you know what, that's kind of hot.
Oh my god.
Imagine it's just all those abusive relationships. He's not actually abusive. He's just trying to get off.
Man's just got a hard on. That's...
You wouldn't know, Amanda. It's okay.
I mean, technically it could be a woman too.
Oh, it could.
She just like, yeah, carry this clothes basket and trips him down the stairs. I was like, all right, gather it up, bring it back up here.
I don't have to trip you. I just watch you go down this stuff.
It's a being into someone falling down the stairs.
I'm sure there's some just people walking on the stairs.
That'd place up there with worst fears. Finding out that you're into that. This is the third time I've fallen down the stairs and it felt like you tripped me.
Okay, on to the next subject.
Worst fears.
But airplanes should not be able to fly.
Airplanes should not be able to fly.
Why?
No.
That's why they're called airplane.
But they're. Think about it. Is gravity? Metal is heavier than air, right?
Yeah.
Does the atmosphere pick it up,
Yes.
or does it push it up?
It's the air. Because you know how whenever you stick your hand into like a pool and
Yeah.
you just slice it through under the water, if you move your hand in any such way, it affects the way that your hand moves. It's the same thing for oxygen. Oxygen is not something that doesn't exist. I mean, the reason that you feel the fan blowing on you is because it's moving the oxygen in the room the same way that water gets moved by a propeller. It even has the same density. That's why it gets lighter at the top. Like water is lighter at the top than it is at the bottom.
Okay.
So the plane wing itself is like your hand under the water. And the shape of it is catching more of the particles, giving it lift. So you give it movement, so you give your hand movement under the water, angle it up, starts moving upwards. Same thing for the plane.
Is it pushing it up or is it pulling it up?
Technically, the plane is pushing itself through the air.
But is it pushing it up or is it pulling it up?
It's a push on the underside of the wings.
So there's not like a vacuum pulling it up?
No.
But still, imagine you being in an airplane and it starts to crash. There's nothing you can fucking do. There's nothing.
I don't know the statistic, but I know that something stupid is much more dangerous than flying on a plane.
Yes.
Even though flying on planes is significantly scarier.
But look at the amount of car crashes to airplane crashes. Yes, you might get into a car crash more often,
But you have a higher chance of surviving that.
but you have a higher chance of surviving.
If that thing's going down, it's barely a chance that you survive that.
I've also heard that the position they tell you to get into is to make sure that you die quicker,
Also, they don't include parachutes on planes.
which is fucking
What do you mean?
stupid.
On modern airplanes, there's no parachutes. And
There's
Oh,
like
yeah,
two.
There's only the life vest. I figured.
if you land in the water.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 of them though. They're like parachutes.
Oh no, I don't think there's any at all
Really?
because the insurance claims if you have 100 or 200 people on an airplane who get out of that, they would rather you all die than go through the insurance claims. But that's not something directly from airlines. That's a conspiracy.
Ugh. But what's your worst fear?
Heights is up there, but the ocean.
Oh, that's right. Hey, you should look up SCP-3000.
It's the big eel.
Yes.
Yeah, I know about that one.
What about 3700?
Nope.
It's the tides of
My
war.
worst fear. Mm-hmm.
Your worst fear is what now?
Easy.
Yeah, cheesy.
Yeah.
Cheesy? Oh. What's up, Mr. Cheesy?
No. If I was Mr. Cheesy, we'd have issues. You guys wouldn't be inside this room.
You're not Mr. Cheesy right now.
No. There's pizza out there that you missed out on, Garrett, by the way. It's you. Come here. But yeah, my worst fear is the ocean. I hate the idea that you can't see the bottom. Like, if I was in the water and I looked down, I could see the sand below me or just the bottom of the pool below me, I'm fine. But if I look down into a body of water and I see nothing, I just see blackness, that's where we start having issues because I'd love to know what's below me.
That creeps. Like, I've never been on a cruise, but I don't think I could go on one just because of the fear. It'd scare me to be like, because if something goes wrong with the boat, you know, and we start seeing it, like, how am I supposed to get out, you know? Like, what if we're in the middle of the ocean? I can't just start, like, swimming. A shark's gonna come up and eat me.
That's what life vests are for.
Well, yeah, but even if I have a life vest, I'm still floating in the water. The shark can just come up and bite my leg off.
Just don't flail. Be fine.
I mean,
Sharks are shown to not be interested in human blood at all.
For the most part.
Mark Rober did a video of it where they had a bucket of human blood and a bucket of fish blood, and they had them spaced out, I think, like a mile or so. Either they had them spaced out or they tested it one by one across separate days. They were dripping human blood slowly into the water, and no sharks came around at all. Well, when they did it with the fish blood, swarm of them. And even when they had both side by side, all the sharks were only around the fish blood.
That's good to know.
Sharks are not typically interested in us, but it doesn't mean that shark attacks don't happen.
Well, that's mostly because people are flailing around.
Yeah, they see a shark and they're like, "Oh, let me splash loudly."
Yeah, if the more or the least that you splash around, the less likely you will get eaten.
You know what, Garrett? Go ahead and tell us what's your worst fear. We'll sit and wait. Okay, on to the next subject. Workplace drama.
Workplace drama. That was one.
I'll let Garrett corroborate this story, but I had a magic bean incident. I told you about this one.
I don't know about
No. So, me and Garrett chat about whatever during overnights because, I mean, it's a long night. If we don't have anything to do, there's shit to talk about. So, I forget the whole subject, but essentially what I had said is like, well, man, I know if the guy had a pocket full of magic beans that'd make my dick hard for 5 hours, I'd take one.
I mean,
And why do you want your dick hard for 5 hours?
It's like Viagra. It wasn't the subject. That was not the subject. Was the dick?
You want it hard for 5 hours, then you got me. I mean,
well, that wasn't the issue with the story. The issue with the story is that when I looked through the little window from the back line to the front, there was a guy up there.
But I just want to interject real quick. Don't most doctors say that if it lasts more than 4 hours to go to the doctor?
Yes.
Jesus.
So why the hell would you want it to go 5 hours?
Because it was magic.
Okay, so we're assuming there are no bad thoughts here, or no bad repercussions.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, it's there and it's just
Okay, keep
the
going.
whole time. But essentially, when I looked up front, because anytime that something like that is said, up at the store, I always check to make sure there's no one around after I said it. Same thing for Garrett. It's always after we say it. And this is one of those times that there was somebody up front. And I said it loud. And Garrett caught wind that I saw somebody up there because I think I'd face palmed. And Garrett instantly backed out. I was like, nope, not taking that order. So it's me talking to this guy. And when I tell you this guy was just straight to the cut, this is what I want. This is all I want. And he would not make eye contact with me.
Do you think he heard you?
I can't confirm whether he did or not. But I will say people are usually a little bit more talkative than that.
He didn't want to talk to him because he didn't want the bean.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's talking about magic beans and a hard dick. It's like, I just wanted to give him my food and just as little hand contact and eye contact as possible. It's like, I don't know what this guy's into. No, he
Big beans. You get sexual arousal from beans, apparently.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah, I told my friends at work that.
yeah. What did they think about it?
They didn't say much. They don't say a lot of things.
Did they become Arby's fans after that? It's like, I want to go to that one.
Surprisingly not.
No. Oh. What about you guys? You guys ever have anything like that happen?
You were talking about work drama. It ain't drama.
It's kind of drama.
Oh.
It's work, like stories.
Oh, okay.
Anything funny happen at work?
Well, there was this one time, like, it's not, like, funny, but it is kind of funny, so I get this phone call, right, and, I mean, this lady, so annoying, and I've already had enough of her. Anyway, I can't even remember what her question was, but I didn't know the answer to it. It was, like, when I first started working. So I went over and I asked my other coworker, my bartender, I was like, hey, like, you know, about this, and anyway, so I forgot that this lady was not on hold, and I didn't place her on hold, so she was still on the phone. And I didn't realize it. Anyways, I told my bartender, I was like, hey, like, I don't know how to do this, and this is what she's talking about. And anyways, my bartender, she thinks it's like crazy, like she must have some issues and stuff. Anyway, so and there was someone else in the bar, like we had other guests like in the bar, and they had started talking. They were like, well, why is she asking that, blah 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 blah, and basically talking bad about her. And I didn't realize the phone, you know, wasn't on hold, and you know, I bring it back up, and I went to go press the like unlock button for hold, and I had realized that I never put it on hold, and I just kind of put it to the side, and I looked over, and I was like, so I just under my breath said it wasn't on hold, and they looked at me and they're like, oh shit. So I get back on the phone. I was like, are you still there? Just, yeah, I'm still here, and I heard everything that they just said.
How did you not get fired?
It wasn't me who was talking bad about her. And so I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. We had a couple guests in the bar, and they had just heard what I said, and they just started talking, and I think they just had a little bit too much to drink already.
Just blame it on everyone else.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really my fault. I mean, oh Lord. I mean, it was because I didn't place her on hold, but yeah.
It's happened a few times, like the headset, like someone just places a huge order. You get 5 minutes into taking the order, and then you finally like get done with them saying stuff, and they're supposed to start pulling forward. But you just go, oh my god, and then you haven't turned off the headset yet.
You've done that multiple times.
I want to say maybe 2 or 3 times.
Well,
I had done that before.
Seems like you'd done that when I was there.
Really?
It seems like you could have.
No. There's probably more stories that Garrett remembers. We'll have to wait until we could get him here.
Well,
but anyways, like work drama.
What about you? Have you said any stupid crap in front of any of your line workers?
I mean, I've had some like theoretical stuff. I asked my boss's boss whether or not she believed in flat Earth or round or hollow Earth.
What'd she believe in?
Flat, I believe. I believe she, because she's
like she believed in that more so than anything else, or
like I told her she had to pick one.
Oh, okay.
Like she couldn't not pick one. She said, you know, round Earth, but you know, and Yeah. It was Pop Tarts as well though. Pop Tarts is a funny character. So Pop Tarts was a guy who would always come in and work, right? But he would go to the restroom, right? After the like 30 minutes, and he'd always bring in a Pop Tart. But um when so he'd be eating the Pop Tarts on the line, right? So that's kind of one reason we call them Pop Tarts. However, every single time that he would go to the restroom after 30 minutes of working, you'd come in to like try and find him because you couldn't find him anywhere. And he would put his, as soon as he heard the bathroom door open, right? He would pop his legs up so you couldn't see him. And you're like, "Hey, are you there?" And just for disclosure, I'm not gonna say his name, but like, we'll just call him Pop Tart. Like, Pop Tart, are you there? And you'd immediately see his legs pop up, and it's like, damn. No, he didn't. But no, he would sit there and let like multiple boxes go by us, or by him, while he fixed the sticker on one of them. And I think that's all I have to say about Pop Tarts. But we had snacks as well. He was just a really big guy that would see. He'd come over to the belts constantly with just a bag of chips.
Oh yeah, I think you told us this.
Yeah, and he'd have
A soda.
a soda.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, he'd have like a bag of Doritos. Next 30 minutes, he'd have a bag of Pringles. Next, he'd have a honey bun. Just you'd see him, and
Do
he'd
you guys have like a dispenser for any of these?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like these are maybe not like Pringles or nothing, but like Doritos, honey buns,
Donuts, yeah,
Yeah.
little prepackaged things.
yeah, little prepackaged stuff.
Yeah.
And he was a manager too. He didn't do shit. He would always creep out the fucking like ladies that worked there.
Oof.
There was one time I was wearing the same color shirt as him, right? And I don't speak Spanish. Well, he was coming over, or I was coming over to our quality assurance people, and she was having a conversation in Spanish with him. I was like, "Hey, how's it going? What y'all doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Tyler. You know, I thought you were snacks." And oh, I was just talking about this, that, and the other, because we don't look anything alike, other than the fact that we had the same color shirt on. So
Oh.
All right, work drama, baby. What
I mean-
else you got?
There's a lot of stuff that I probably can't remember at the moment.
Oh,
I don't know. What we might do here in just a second is call that it for a day, and then we'll reconvene next week at some point.
I would say Thursday,
Thursday if we can.
if we can.
We have to try and plan around a day and make sure that Garrett can get up here.
All right. Well,
Oh, Garrett just brought up something. That's in the chat, by the way. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we can leave that. We can start off here, and
I'll say this. Me and Garrett have had to take care of a lot more at our job than we should have had to. You already know about this. You already know. But
well,
I won't include names.
yeah, we can leave this off for another part.
I'm going to talk about it. We'll talk about it next week when we can have Garrett here too, because he's heavily included on the story as well.
That includes.
Yeah. But thank you for listening. And to any future listeners, I hope none of this disturbed you.
I hope legally we don't get in trouble
Yeah.
for any of the shit we've said.
I don't think we said anything terrible just yet, but we'll find out about that.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.